Oh, hey, Sam here. I was avoiding work by recording some more meta-narrative bullshit for this upcoming episode today when I got a text from a friend that David Lynch had died. His art is pretty central to my life. Twin Peaks was something I shared with my parents. I probably watched Blue Velvet and Eraserhead way too early in life. I mean, we have a life-size cardboard cutout of evil Dale Cooper that I move around the house to scare Aubrey in the middle of the night. The things he made always seem to be kind of like a surreal funhouse mirror reflecting our own world in weird ways I would have never come up with on my own. In my day job, I help people in life or death situations, and nothing hits quite like being told how you impacted someone's life with your work. I don't know David Lynch, and he certainly does not know me, but his work deeply impacted me, my own art, and really how I see the world. I do wish I had the chance to tell him that, so maybe this is my attempt at doing that. Anyways, I just wanted to say something. And now I'm going to get back to this meta-narrative bullshit, and then I'm going to brew a pot of midnight black coffee, probably sneak a cigarette outside, call Aubrey Diane until she stops talking to me, and watch Fire Walk with me for the 100th time. Keep your eye on the donut, not on the hole.
It's fucking in here. It's got to be in here somewhere. Here it is. Great.
Diane, I'm still in Hobson, Mexico. Right now, I'm currently locked in a bathroom in the dormitories of the University of the Southwest. So FP found these fucking files. Man, that fucking guy. But we looked through them, and he actually, I don't know, bumblefucked his way into like finding some missing students, and we got their names. I don't know what to make of this, so we ended up going back to the La Quinta Inn, and that's where we decided to stay for the night. In the morning, goddamn fucking FP. He's fucking talking about the continental breakfast, and he's fucking planting drugs all over the place. So Thaddeus went back to the field where I saw that fucking creepy-ass torso. I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but you know what? Just transcribe it as said, and let's just go from here. Thaddeus said that a scrub cicada popped out of the ground, but it's not in like the 13 or 17 year correct year or time. It's not even the right season for this, so like, I don't know, maybe Thaddeus is losing it. Well, then we decided to go to the dorms and try to investigate, these missing students. And so, we're trying to track down Carlos and Derek. We just couldn't ever find them. And apparently, like, maybe a third accomplice, Matthew Harrow, son of the dean, but he's also missing, and that's the badge I found in that fucking field. So, I don't know. His address is like, it's his dad's address, I guess, as the dean, and so it's one of the mansions, like one of the big-ass houses on campus. Anyway, so we go and we tempt one of the college students with some weed. I mean, I have to give it to FP. Like, that was pretty clutch. They directed us to room 420, and that motherfucker was spotless. I mean, as bad of an idea as it is to use a black light in a college male dorm room, there was nothing. Nothing on the walls, nothing on the floors, nothing on the sheets. Although I did find this fucking cufflink, and the symbol was really strange. It said booties or bodis, or honestly, I don't even know where to start the word and like how to read it, but who knows. And so trying to track down why these people were like doing their weird shit and like why Carlos and Derek were, what was going on with them. We actually found out Derek Johnson's previous roommate had requested a transfer because he farted too much. Flatulence as a reason to hate someone? I don't know. So Derek and his roommate had been in a fight for like 8 months, and we had like a transfer of roommates. But that roommate did tell us that Derek had been acting paranoid and saying that he'd been watched at night around that time. I don't know. It's rubbing me the wrong way. That has to be relevant. I did show them the cufflink, and those two dumbasses had never seen it before. It was kind of weird. That kind of seemed like they were playing World of Warcraft rather than going and being in church. But they did seem to like Dean Harrow, the dean who is overseen, and Dr. Springfield, which, okay, Diane. That's probably enough for now. My mind just keeps going from lily pad to lily pad, and I'll get back to you later.
Hey, buddy. You still in there? It's been a while. I wanted to make sure you didn't get, Scooby-Dooed into some secret passage by whatever nefarious thing is going on here. Like you try to flush the toilet, but then a secret wall opens up. And
God damn it, this fucking guy.
That probably didn't happen. You're probably just constipated. Anyway, I'm ready to go to the basement when you are. Just check in.
Yeah, fucking FP. I'll be right there. Like, give me 2 fucking minutes.
So you guys leave the room 3 doors down from 420 and 2 floors down. You have to walk back by our friend Kyle, the RA, and he is napping, asleep, feet up on the table. And then you can come down and go around to where the actual stairs are.
Is there a door that goes to the stairs?
So there is, but it's down the stairs. So basically, it's like the stairwell like comes down. You know, you can go up it, and then when you come back down, it leads to the RA, and you have to kind of come out and then move back around, like to see where the RA is. And then it's open though. You can walk down, and there is a door down there. Yeah. So it's got it's pretty big. It spans like the size of the whole building, and it's set up in like, you know how like some apartments will have those like storage in the basement that's got fence, like almost like chain link that like
It's like sectioned off.
So that each room potentially could have at least a little bit of space to store things. What room are you going towards?
420, obviously.
Nice, place it. You find 420. 420 has a bunch of what looks like maybe furniture items. They're not like the stock items provided by the apartment, but they're like furniture items like lamps and shit like that. It's devoid though of a whole lot of other like really personal items. So it looks like somebody cleaned out a room and put all the like not, like the essential items down there besides whatever they're using to show. And why don't you guys give me a search, everybody?
I rolled an aught 1. I'm a 16.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I rolled a 12, which is a pass.
It's a 57 on 40. That's a fail.
Okay, so what I'm going to say happens then is that you guys see there's some lamps, there's like a bed, side part to like a bed, and what are those called? Side table?
Mm-hmm.
When you open up the drawers to the side table, something that probably could be pretty easily missed if you didn't look in there is that there is a false bottom to one of the side tables.
Okay, I lifted it up.
In the false bottom, there is a like mini journal.
Like a small journal or like a Minnie Mouse journal?
Minnie Mouse. It's extremely large.
It's a very large Minnie Mouse.
It's a large Minnie Mouse journal. I love that.
It's a mini journal.
It's kind of weird. She's like, she's turning
She's
around, looking kind of like
Coy?
maybe a little sexily, and you can see like she's looking back like, ooh.
Okay.
They just don't have any porn for like hundreds of miles, and so they just next best thing is
Coy Minnie Mouse.
Risque Minnie Mouse journals.
Very large.
These kids. Jiminy Christmas.
Something deep within you, Thaddeus, tells you, do not turn on this black light down here.
Oh, God. Okay.
Well, I mean, it might even give us more light because of all the radiance coming off the furniture.
Yeah, you're worried you will be blinded by what you would see
Blinded by the light.
by the light.
I opened the journal.
I'm going to send you what is written over and over and over in all 100 pages of the journal.
Okay. It says, in woods deep beyond the usual tread, near Miller's Creek, where shadows wed, a figure loomed tall and gaunt in gloom, cloaked in tatters, a portrait of doom. Its mask, wooden skin, crude and stark, void of expression in daylight or dark.
Jiminy Christmas, Shakespeare, get to the point.
2 holes for eyes, deep pits of night. In silence it watched, a phantom of fright. Chill seized my spine, in haste I fled. The silent watcher by dread I'm led. Over and again, these visions call. In the grip of madness, I recount it all. And that's just written over and over and over
Over and over again.
The repetition becomes less scary when the phrase repeated is too long, because I just get bored.
Fruman like leans over and starts like really like flipping through a bunch of the pages. Does anything change with the handwriting? Like,
it gets way worse. It like starts off like written in a way that looks like somebody is maybe writing something down. like, you know, like a note about something, or like, and then it very quickly turns into like, it looks like somebody felt the need to write it. By the end of the 100 pages of it, it's like fucking scribbles, and there's like little rips in the paper where it looked like somebody had ripped through it and pushed way too hard.
Is there a Cliff Notes version of that?
But that's where we need one of those.
Is there any hymnals around? This is a church, right? Is it like a church thing?
I'm not religious, so I don't know.
Is anyone religious out of you three?
Yeah, kind of.
But like officially religious, or just like believes in God and is worried about some shit?
I guess you could say officially,
Okay.
but like pragmatic about the whole thing.
Okay. But like, does FP attend church?
No, he probably has not in years.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm imagining.
Anything else interesting?
No, I think you see that.
I take that with me.
Okay.
Are there clothes and stuff?
No, there are no clothes. There is like a dresser though, but it looks like it was like cleaned out.
Okay, so like it looks like the bigger stuff that would be harder to like throw away.
This is like the stuff that they aren't keeping up there because they just want a clean space to see how big it is, right? The room when they show it off. But then this is the rest of the stuff. And it doesn't match necessarily all with the furniture that's in the 2 dorms you've seen, because it's these people's furniture. You know what I mean? Some of it matches and some of it's like provided, but other parts of it are like definitely things that they brought with them.
Okay.
Either Derek or Carlos.
Hey, Fruman, can you tell, like, can't you do some sort of, like, scientific analysis on the ink and tell, like, did he write this all in once? Or, like, how long was the ink on the first page? How long was it between when the ink was on the first page and ink on the last page? You know what I'm saying? Is there a way to tell that? Is that a thing?
No.
Oh, okay. I just, you know, it's like, did he like read this back in September and then May came around and he's like, I'm going to finish this insane journal, or was it the span of 2 weeks? I don't know.
The time scale that we can analyze that is not nearly as granular as you expect.
Okay. So you're telling me that TV lied to me again.
I really thought that was an original idea, and Fruman rolls his eyes.
Well, I mean, you take inspiration from everywhere. Art inspirates life. Isn't that a saying?
Staring, it's like,
Just silence from everyone. You could hear a pin drop in this basement.
doing just like a quick perusal of just like the rest of the stuff.
It doesn't look like really anything's been moved in a long time. There's like a couple places that like looks like they have a bike that like got brought in and out and that, but like outside of that, not really.
Okay.
Any like legit heavy duty cleaning supplies?
No, not down there. No.
All right. I pocket the mini journal.
That's fucking weird. And
yeah. Guess we gotta figure out where Miller's Creek is, I guess. If that's a real place or what that's referencing.
as we walk up the stairs and assume that homie's still snoozing, considering we're
chilling.
probably downstairs for like 15
Like
minutes.
15, 20 minutes tops. Yeah. It's probably like 9:30, 10 maybe, somewhere in there.
And I
10
think that
o'clock.
like I just like slam hand down on the table, hoping to jar.
Whoa, weed guys, what's up?
Anyone come through?
No, man. I mean, some students, but like that's pretty normal.
Is there Miller's Creek around here?
Miller's Creek, huh? No.
Are there any creeks around here?
Huh. Creeks, huh?
Small rivers, tributaries, estuaries. No, not.
Some people mispronounce it and say crick.
Crick?
Oh, a crick? No.
Okay. I don't think it's near here.
All right.
All right. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, no problem. There's a lake, though. Have you guys seen the lake? It's pretty sick.
Do you guys
What's the
like
name of the lake?
Miller's Lake.
Miller's Lake?
Yeah.
You didn't think to tell us that there's a Miller's Lake when we asked about Miller's Creek?
You asked about the creek.
Okay. Why do you
All
guys...
right, fair enough.
Do people swim in it? Like, what do you do on the lake?
Yeah. You can swim in it, I guess. But, like, sometimes people take sailboats on it, and it's pretty fucking cool.
Okay.
Is there a dam nearby? Did it used to be a creek and they dammed it up and now it is a lake?
Yeah, there's a dam. You guys want to go to that?
Damn.
Damn, son.
Damn.
Don't tell anybody, but, like, we'll go drink some beers there sometimes and smoke weed.
All right.
Sure, man. I gave you my number. Just beat me.
Beep.
Can you give us some quick directions?
Yeah. The lake is just, like, over there, and he points north.
Where's the dam?
Oh, yeah, it's like a couple miles from here, and then he kind of like draws you like a quick. He's like, do you have any like mini mouse pads that I could draw on?
I say this one, and I hold it up because I picked it from your pocket. Sorry.
No, he doesn't say that. That was stupid. Yeah, he draws it on the mini mouse, the back of the mini mouse pad if you want, but he draws just how to get to it. It's not far away.
I still want to pickpocket that thing from Thad's pocket.
Okay.
I rolled a 44 if I need to do that.
Can
That's
I
a crit
roll-
success.
Can I roll something in...
In defense?
In defense.
Yeah, this is going to be the one time you guys can do player versus player stuff. Go ahead. What do you want to roll in defense?
I guess dexterity?
Sure.
Oh, no, I fail. Damn it. I rolled a 93 on an 85.
You notice nothing.
44 on a 55.
Yeah, so-
Crit success. So I say, hey, what's his name? Luke?
Kyle.
Kyle. I say, hey, Luke.
He's like, yeah, what's up, man?
I like your Sabbath shirt. I've been working on some song lyrics. What do you think of these? And I show him just the first page. Like I was kind of trying to like take inspiration from the town and the college. You know, this what do you think, man?
Make you feel viscerally uncomfortable.
He looks at him and reads him. It takes him a while, and he's like, pretty sick, dude. But like, there's no Miller's Creek. So did you just make that up?
Yeah, man.
Sick.
I mean, aren't all song lyrics made up?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe.
Yeah. Is there anything that you feel like speaks to you from this, apart from the creek part?
No.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thanks, man. And I close it. Can I sneak it back into this pocket? I roll a 91. I fail.
It just
I try
drops
to put
on the
in this
ground.
pocket and it just falls on the floor. And I'm like, you dropped that.
I'm like, I saw you show it to Luke.
It's Kyle, but
Whatever.
yeah.
Okay, let's
He
go.
did show that to me.
Yeah, those are my song lyrics. These are my bandmates. We're going for sort of a like Pulp Fiction thing. That's why they look like total nerds.
Nice.
Anyway, all right, thanks, man. And I just sort of like hand him another joint as we walk out. I'm like, good job. Keep up the good work.
Where are you getting all these drugs? I thought they were under the plant at the hotel.
You can carry a certain amount without getting into legal trouble.
What's your
Not
encumbrance rate?
too much legal trouble.
Okay, shall we? Okay, our options are, I guess we could go to the dam. We could also go to the lab and take a look at the fluid. We could split the party and do two different things.
I want a lab while it's still Sunday.
Yeah,
you guys
I
have a
think
little
that
bit
that
of-
makes sense.
You guys
to
have a
me.
couple hours before your meeting with
Yeah, I think
Springfield.
Furman, we go over to the lab. You see kind of what it looks like. If you can just go break in on your own, or if you need to look out, let us know. If you don't need to look out, we can maybe try to go to like someone's office or something. But
If you're like running, you know, I know sometimes that lab stuff, it does its own thing for a bit, like centrifuges or whatever. If you have a minute while that's running, use the internet to see history of the dam and if there was a creek and if there were any structures buried by the creek. You know, sort of a like Tennessee Valley Water Authority type of thing.
Yeah. FB, can you just make sure I get in and then you guys can...
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Do whatever.
maybe we can, I don't know, try to find a computer. So, yeah, go to try to find about Jen Wen
Yeah.
Jen Wynn?
and Alex Torres. Is that?
So you
Yeah.
guys want to make your way to the lab. So the lab space, there's a nice like atrium in the middle. So it's like a big like 6-story building. It's a mixture of like lab space for research labs and lab space for like teaching labs. You know, there's a big atrium in the middle, and the labs like make a square around the atrium going up the 6 floors. There is nobody there, and the lights are off. It looks like in the whole building. It's probably like 10:30 at this point. There's a little. Do they have key badge? Fuck it. We'll just say. Do they have key badges in '98? Probably not.
Yeah, they probably did. Although, would this place? That's the question.
I mean, they had like the hotel where you put the key in.
So there's that in the front door to like let you in, basically.
This is kind of high tech.
Can we try Matt's badge?
Yeah.
We try Matt's badge.
It opens.
Ooh.
Sweet.
I don't think that it's advanced enough that they would be able to track who's coming in and out on like a. I think it's more just like it's programmed for the school and that you can get into any building if you're a student, basically.
There's probably a log that no one ever checks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like probably it does generate a log, but the people like, we're a fucking weird ass.
Well, and he's also the son
Yeah.
of the dean, so no one's probably gonna say shit about it anyway.
And they also don't know that we have
Yep.
it.
That's true.
Badge. All right.
I imagine there's like just like something on the wall that's each floor is like the different life sciences or whatever the hell it may be. So is there anyone you want to specifically get to, or do you think you can kind of do whatever?
I mean, I bet that we could probably narrow it down. Like, I want to go to his lab. I mean, for a place like that size, like it would be like one thing when there's like 400 people that are all researching, but again, there's probably 40. And I bet like it says like biology, then it's probably like Dr. Davis.
yeah, that's fine. You can get up into his lab.
Is his lab door open or locked?
It's locked. It's not the key card stuff. It's like a normal lock.
Okay. All right. Hey, Fruman.
Yeah.
Take this. And I hand him my pick tools. I'm like, let me show you how to do this. You're going to learn so
Okay.
that I don't have to babysit you all the time.
All right.
See, I don't know what you want me to roll, but essentially I'm like, I'm here. We should all learn these skills. How do I
I just grab it and turn around.
and start like jamming it into the lock?
Yeah, and I failed. I rolled a 57 on a 30.
What do you want me to roll to try and like teach him how to do
How
this?
to Dougie.
So lame.
You roll your lock or your criminology or whatever.
Me? Okay.
Yeah, Because I think just you succeeding is like showing him how to do it.
I got a 56 on a 60.
Okay, you unlock it.
Yeah.
And
Does he learn anything from that?
No, but he learns that he can do it, and you can.
It's all right, buddy. You'll get it next time.
Thank you. And then Fruman walks in.
All right.
Quick survey of the lab, and he sees
This isn't the most impressive of labs, right? For this maybe college, it could be pretty impressive, I would say. But overall, it's nothing.
Lab is mid.
Yeah, lab's mid, no riz. It looks like it probably takes up maybe a quarter of the whole floor. There are maybe 3 different like bench little areas for people to do their stuff in. There's a couple computers. Nobody's working. The computers look pretty big, like they've chained together a couple different CPUs or something. And then there's like a PCR machine. There's just like all the shit that you would see. There is a poster on the wall.
What's the poster? Don't tell us it's a Limp Bizkit poster.
It is a Limp Bizkit poster. So besides investigating the Limp Bizkit items, what else do you guys want to do?
I want to throw them in the trash.
Fruman immediately starts looking for lab notebooks.
Okay.
He recognizes like all these machines and like, but he was just like, I want to know what they're doing. And so just immediately goes for the lab notebooks.
I think a cursory glance. What's your medicine and what's your biology?
Medicine's a 60, biology's a 60.
Yeah, roll one of them just for like briefly rolling through it because like you'll understand it. It just may take a little more time.
That's a 48.
Okay,
on 60.
Cool. So the couple things you see are that the work that they're doing here seems extremely legit. Because I'm imagining you're opening stuff up and you're like, well, is this just like made up? Where are we here? Because this seems so insanely outside of things. And it looks very legit to you reading through it. Not only does it look legit to you, it looks like more advanced than anything that you've read in the last like 5 years, keeping up with medical updates and stuff. And then on top of that, you can see why there's such a hubbub about it, right? This really does look like something that's going to revolutionize things because it's going to allow changes on like a protein level after reading through it for maybe 10, 15 minutes. Because I think you kind of get engrossed into it as you're like reading through it.
For sure.
You're seeing that this could potentially be like targeted therapy for like a multitude of classes of diseases, you know, different organ systems, different pathologies. Overall, it looks extremely advanced and extremely promising.
Is there anything that, as I'm looking through it, makes me feel, because again, sort of new scientific discovery, witnessing it for the first time, like always feels good. Is there any part about this that I'm just like, this sort of makes me feel weird or bad?
I don't think anything of this specifically does. What does make you feel maybe weird or strange or bad is that it is not even highly improbable that this would happen in this place, but literally impossible. What they're trying to do now is replicate the physical experiments that they have been doing computer simulation stuff with. That you're like, I would be surprised if fucking, I don't know, NASA or something, the CIA or whatever, had access to this level of computing power. So I think immediately you're probably uncomfortable with that. And I think as a smart person, you're either thinking, are they being fed stuff by another group, by another country, you know, like a psyop? I don't know. Like, is there a Russian entity trying to like do something, but like, or like industry or something? But you're like, there's no fucking way that they could do this here. And that makes you like uncomfortable. But the information itself is like really kind of like revelatory, I would say.
And then just as I'm like flipping through lab notebooks, looking around the lab, I don't see the cufflink symbol or sort of like any reference to those letters or anything like that.
You're all there, right? Yeah. You're all kind of wandering around. Roll me a search.
I passed 29 on a 60.
16 on a 40.
36 on 40.
Nice. So no, you don't see the cufflinks, but what you do notice when lurking through for all this stuff is that of the 3 computers, 3 large setup for computers, there's one that seems to be really worn out, like the keyboard's super worn out and the mouse looks worn out, and the other 2 aren't used near as much.
You go shake the mouse and...
Yeah, you shake the mouse, there's like a password pop up, so you'd have to enter a password or get around it somehow.
If we're looking through the lab notebooks, does anybody have passwords and shit on the front page?
No,
or
there's
the
no
back page?
passwords going through any of that stuff.
Does anybody have SIGINT?
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
I always fucking forget about SIGINT because I'm like not really fully sure what it means.
Seems like you could look at the keyboard keys and see which are like the most worn. Someone putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're doing data entry, like,
Yeah, that's true.
That's probably going to be like not, because they're going to type the password once and then are going to type other words like a billion times.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a computer
Yeah,
science.
I mean, if you wanted to roll computer science, that would be
I also have a 0 on that.
excellent.
I have 20.
Okay.
I got 0.
Wow, the oldest guy has the highest compy psi, huh?
That's what they always say.
Old guy compy psi.
I rolled a 19 on a 20. So I'm like, move out of the way. I got this.
You unfold your hacker keyboard that you plug in to this computer to start
It's a
hacking.
Minnie Mouse keyboard.
Yeah, your Minnie Mouse keyboard.
So in my head, I'm like, computers are a new-ish thing, not super new, but like, yeah. And I'm like, most people just use 1, 2, 3, 4, and I put 1, 2, 3, 4 in, and that's the password.
Or password is the password.
I think you do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Password.
Then you do password, and then you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, computer science, computer science, computer science. And you look up, and what's staring at you? A poster for Limp Bizkit.
The password is Fred Durst 42069 Nookie.
You click enter, boom, the whole thing's opened up for you.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Fred Durst saves the day again.
I don't think he's ever saved it before.
So we are in, and I look and I go, that's how it's done, boys.
So you want to mess with Limp Bizkit? You can't mess with Limp Bizkit.
I don't say that.
That is some high-tech lockpicking. I'll give you that.
Thank you. So what are we looking for in this computer?
What do you want to look for in the computer?
Recently opened files.
Okay, I get us to the recently opened files.
You open up, I think what amounts to like some of the programs that are running these simulations, right? And with a 20 in computer science, sometimes in Delta Green, you are able to like bypass things because
Right.
you have this. And then sometimes you're like, the rating just is not high enough to understand something. What I'm going to say is that with a computer science of 20,
Right.
it's just not high enough to understand
Yeah.
what you're looking at per se, but you've got an idea. These are simulations that they are running to try to figure out how proteins are folded in various different ways and what their impact would be if you were to change them and ways to change them. But what you notice is that it's using a separate operating system outside of the like normal Windows OS. And when you get into terminal or whatever, into the outside of the user interface, you are seeing a operating system you've never seen in your life. And it's not like you're like so up to date you would know everything, but it's like very strange to you.
Yeah, I probably know like the very basics of it.
You're like a Linux and like and Windows. And,
I'm probably like familiar with Windows, Mac, Linux, and that's it.
but this is like very strange to you, and it doesn't seem to follow any of the programming language that you would understand.
Well, I think I look at Fruman and I'm like, do you understand any of this? Like as far as like the protein folding thing or like...
Doesn't even look like turning a person into oil.
Does this look like turning a person into oil?
Can I look at the code and like the stuff that it's running and see if it seems organic?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of my question. And like, does this seem like natural, like something that you understand? Is this something that would work? These simulations they're running, is this something that would be able to happen in reality?
Yes. You're looking through it, the combined of you guys looking at this stuff, I don't think you would be able to understand the code itself or the operating system or anything. You get the sense it's very strange and outside of what you're used to. What it's outputting makes sense. And in some ways, you're kind of reading it, holy shit, if this really works in the real world, A, B, C logic makes sense. I don't know if we could actually harness this, and I don't know if we could actually do something with this, but if so, this is a huge deal. But what you're seeing is that A, nobody in this college could design anything like this, right? This is so strange. And then B, some of what is the input to things seems not very robust, meaning you design a model and you put in like 3 variables and all of a sudden we can predict everything all the time, and you give it 10 different data sets and it predicts it perfectly. And you're like, the input and the output don't match up at all. So there's something there.
Like in the simulation itself that is like not making sense.
That's not making sense. People who maybe are putting in like the barest, most simplest of variables into this modeling machine, and it's spitting out this like amazing shit that makes sense.
Okay, so there's something in the code that is unnatural, basically.
Do you explain that to everybody, or what's your response to that, I guess?
Everyone sort of sees Fruman step back from the computer and kind of start looking around. And I think that in his head, he's like looking for security cameras and just kind of wants to see like a lay of the land. And he is sort of, when like dogs' haunches raised.
Yeah.
That's sort of the feeling that I think that everyone would get from him. But he doesn't say anything. It is just like...
Your hackles?
Hackles, yeah. Again, staring around. Do I see any cameras or like anything?
With your searches, no, there's no cameras or anything. I will say you need to make a grip roll for me for seeing that. I don't know if you guys necessarily need to, unless unless Fruman specifically spells stuff out. And even then, I don't know if it has the impact.
That is a pass. 56 on a 71.
Then I think just 1, and that's it. Because otherwise, it would just.
I don't know if this matters, but I randomly have a 60 in pharmacy because I cook drugs. Do I need to roll anything?
What were you doing while they were doing this? Were you like looking through everything too?
Honestly, I imagine myself just kind of looking around for chemicals that I recognized and could take with us to maybe use later if I need it.
Yeah. I don't think you need to roll a Sandy. I think this is a grip. I think this is like a specific seeing something so outside of a field that Fruman is so involved in.
Yeah. I probably wasn't. I was probably just assuming that it was some nerd stuff over my head.
Yeah.
But I was like,
yeah, it's much easier for both of you guys to be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, anhydrous ammonia. I know what that is.
Yeah, it would make sense. Like if I saw an OS that I didn't recognize, I'd
Yeah,
be
you're
like, well,
I'm
it's
not
just
like
another
a fucking
one.
programmer.
Yeah,
I do something on my free
unfortunately one that I don't know.
On that note, do I see any chemicals I can take for later?
Yes, you do. You definitely see some chemicals that you could use to make stuff if you want to try to swipe some stuff.
Yeah.
Write down in your sheet, like, you know.
Yeah. Some acids, some bases. Yeah.
Drug chemicals.
FP, can you make a bomb or just something that would start a fire?
Oh, yeah. Fire? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can we get it remotely?
What do you mean remotely?
I don't know that we need to pull the trigger on this right now, but we may need to destroy this.
I look at you, I'm like, I'm a fire investigator, so I can probably make things
That's probably better.
light on fire
Yeah.
without any evidence. So, I mean, I look around, I probably see I probably am able to just,
So many code violations.
yeah, I see so many code violations. I mean, I that's something I could pretty easily roll and just make happen.
So the things that are going on there shouldn't be able to be done here.
Like at this college or like in the world itself.
Mainly here. Other places may, with millions and millions of
So
dollars.
are they like plagiarizing something?
No, this seems to be actually legit.
So what you're saying is like they're designing the Sistine Chapel, but all they have is crayons and construction paper.
That's somehow coming up with the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roger.
Do we need to destroy it now?
I kind of want to steal these.
The computers.
The hard drives.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
And again, maybe there's a lab accident after we meet with Dusty Springfield.
I was saying Rick.
Okay. All right. Why would we need to destroy the lab?
This is the most valuable thing potentially in the world right now. And so I imagine that the second that someone finds out that this computer isn't running and doing its thing, it's going to be a very big deal.
Got it. Okay.
Like even more so than
Human Genome Project that is currently underway.
Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Would we say even more of a big deal than Desert Storm?
Yes.
Fuck George Bush.
Hot take.
Victory declared.
Mission accomplished.
Selling this on the black the black market for arms is you could get a gazillion Scud missiles.
Okay. We take the hard drives.
And we replace them with soft drives. They'll never know the difference.
These drives are too soft. I just can't get my work done.
Are there other computers that...
Yeah, there are a couple others, but again, these are the most used. That's the most used.
Yeah, I think
one.
I'm like, can we replace the ones from the ones that aren't used and put in this one?
As someone who does a lot of shady shit, he's not going to bring us to like the super top secret computer on a tour.
Okay, well then
So
let's
just
just take
leave it.
them.
Do you think that you can make a controlled fire that looks like an electrical short just right here without it destroying everything?
That's going to be suspicious. Their golden goose burns down and everything else is fine. I would call that suspicious.
No, this is the computer that gets more use than anything. This thing is This is already using a fuck ton of energy that they've like chained together multiple CPUs. Like the amount of processing.
You know what? We can do it all fancy and that's fine. Or I can just make it look like some kind of dumb fuck freshman came in here and lit something on fire. It seems like a more plausible deniability thing, right? I don't know. When you get too fancy with fires, people start to ask questions.
That's absolutely
not.
not true.
Okay. I'll trust you. You're the expert.
Like
All I know is I've had a few drug labs burned down.
a random giant fire for no reason makes less sense than a small fire for an actual reason.
Okay.
I'm
You're
gonna
the fire
roll
expert.
fire science. Is that
You
okay?
have fire signs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Opposed roll. I got a 6.
You're spitting on it, putting it out. No fire here.
I rolled a 25 on a 50. So basically, I like go to the wiring. I somehow do a wire. I do a wire.
I do a lot.
Based on all of my current knowledge of
Fires.
electronics and fires.
Yeah, I moved some wires around to make an electrical fire that would look as though it was accidental due to something heating up.
Sounds good. Do you want the fire to happen right now, or do you want it to happen like the next time somebody comes in?
I want it to
and
happen
does
the next
something?
time someone comes in the room.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like it's not a trap because you're not going to cause a big enough fire.
No, but
hopefully,
like
to cause problems. But like something that sparks when they come in and
like a real Rube Goldberg machine.
yeah, there's like the
There's
bird
a-
with the water. And it's like, doop,
There's
doop,
a
and like
marble that rolls down.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say it's probably close to like noon by this point, right? All right, is there anything else you need to look at in this place?
Again, just to be extra sure, like as I'm going around and Fruman's opening cabinets and stuff, do they even have like the basic reagents in enough quantities to be able to do the things that
There are the basic reagents for somebody who is just doing like very normal basic protein work, and then it looks like they are starting to stock up on them as if they've gotten a new like windfall of cash to buy stuff. You can see like a list of stuff that they need, and there's like the check mark off of maybe a fourth of it or something, as if they just got some money and are like it's coming through and they're like buying stuff. There's like the normal lab stuff that you would expect from some nothing lab doing stuff, and then more shit coming in.
Then the last thing I want to do is have RB do the lab fire extinguishers. Let's just write a thing saying that it was recently checked, but then like also depressurize it.
Waste them in the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Just so that way they're going to have to go to the next lab over and give it a little time to make sure that
Things
no one
actually burn.
rose like a crit success, hypothetically.
I can do that.
Hells yeah. All right.
We probably got about an hour until it's probably noon.
Lunch?
Do we want to, grab lunch, or we could drive past the mansions real quick on a Sunday?
See if someone invites us in for lunch. A little Sunday.
See if someone invites us in for lunch.
Just walk to each door.
Like
knock.
Sunday afternoon dinner. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Yeah. Why don't we can get lunch because we can drive past the mansions after we meet with him. I mean, we'll meet for like an hour at the most, probably.
Yeah,
All right.
that sounds good.
Yeah, we go get lunch.
I'm going to take an afternoon nap while they're doing
I'm like, is
that.
there a Burger King around here?
Like in the car.
Yeah, wherever. I mean, we got the rodeo. I can take a nap in the back.
All right, you guys drive to the Burger King on campus.
Is it packed with post-church crowd?
No, nobody's there. The drive-thru's open, and they're like, "What can I get for you?"
Why are you not at chapel?
Oh shit! See you later.
I get a chicken sandwich meal with a full sugar Coke.
We're out of fries.
What?
We're out of fries.
I'll take tater tots.
Okay, we got tater tots.
You don't have fries?
Not right now.
Why?
Manager forgot to order them.
Can you shape a tot into a stick like a fry and then fry it?
Yeah, I can do tater sticks.
Have they done the chicken fries yet?
Ooh, I don't think so in
I
98.
got this thing where I take a chicken sandwich and I put it in a blender and then I fry it into these sticks if you'd like that.
Watch it spin round into a beautiful oblivion.
Yeah, rendezvous and I'm through with you.
While we're eating, we can probably just like drive around and I don't know.
Yeah, we can just do a circle around the lake. Like I'm eating while I'm driving. I'm like, let's just drive past the mansions, do a little
Case the neighborhood.
let's do a scenic drive around the lake.
Okay, you guys roll up to the window at the Burger King. The person at the front's like, oh, you guys again. I'm back for seconds. Here you go. And hands you the bag.
Why second?
I don't know. I guess you're hungry. He just kind of goes, oh, and shuts the thing.
We weren't here before. I look at her and go, we were not, were we?
You were just here.
Yeah, we got the chicken, the like blended
No,
fry
that's
meat.
this time. No, this is the only time, this is the same time.
I'm just gonna go back to sleep.
Oh, someone had the same car as us?
Yeah, I guess it must have been.
How long ago were we here?
Oh, God, like 20 minutes ago.
What did we order? I look at Fruman.
Fucking college kids playing with people's minds. This is nothing. Just give us our fucking food.
Hands you the food.
What did we say to you?
God, you ordered your food and you took it? Two of you were discussing, the other one's sleeping, so.
Discussing what?
I don't know. I try not to listen.
Did you have a conversation exactly like this with them about how
You guys just took the food.
Okay, weird. Must have a doppelganger.
It closes.
Yeah, and I drive away.
It's like I don't want any of this.
Yeah, he's like, nope, pass.
I think Thaddeus needs to roll sanity. I think he like knows enough that this
Yeah,
is
I think
weird.
that's fair. If you're starting to question stuff at all, I think the other you two, I don't think are questioning things. So
No, I am
Actively.
probably thinking that I dreamed the first trip
Yeah,
through
right.
Burger King.
I pass.
okay, nothing.
I think I just like kind of shake it off. It's in the back of my mind that she said that, but I like take what Fruman said. I'm like, yeah, college kids, they just whatever. Everybody's just fucking high, whatever.
Some idiot. They're high.
I'm like, all right, let's take a little drive around the lake while we eat, and then we can go meet with Schindler or whatever his name is.
and
Schindler.
we'll check his list.
Hey, do you guys want to go to Burger King?
You guys drive out from the Burger King, past the chapel. People are filing out from the 45 1 hour service. And they're walking out. You can see a bunch of college kids walking out. You drive to get into where the lake and the houses are. You have to drive through. There's one road and the trees line it. It's like maybe a quarter to half a mile of a road. It takes you out to the mansions. FP, you're sleeping in the back. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So you guys are driving and driving. You hit the trees. It's been a sunny day so far. I think the minute you hit the trees, I want everybody to roll a power roll for me. And not hit the trees, when you get to where the tree line is. And FP, you do not need to, because we're going to do something separate for you.
33406310 106285117W.
I rolled an aught 7 on a 75.
Pass for me too.
Okay.
Regular.
I think both of you guys, as you're driving, who's driving? You're driving, right?
I'm driving. Yeah.
You both notice that things look a little darker, as if like maybe it's become overcast as you hit the tree line. The trees come up and over around, like to almost make a dome-ish.
Like a little fern gully action.
Yeah, like a little fern gully action, but not enough to like block out the sunlight. So it's like a noticeable darkening of things. You make it through this mile or half mile of trees, and when you come out the other side of things, the last thing that you're going to see before you wrap stuff up is you turn to your left and you see a beautiful lake, like pretty large lake. You can see where there may have been like a river leading into it that's like dried up, and they've turned it into like kind of like an off ramp to like put boats into and stuff. There are sailboats on the lake, probably 3 or 4 of them going around. The water looks really clear, really nice. Both of you kind of think to yourselves, well, it'd be nice to take a swim in that lake. And then there is a split second where everything kind of freezes. You notice that the lake has gone from being kind of calm with these sailboats on it to no sailboats on it at all, and it's become quite choppy. And in the center of it, for maybe 10 or 15 seconds, to the point where you slam on the brakes, you see something writhing out in the middle of the lake, something the size of a human being. And what happens is it's almost like it's superimposed on the top of the nice, beautiful sailboat lake that you saw. It's like this other reality slowly superimposes on top of it, and then it's the only thing there. You slam on the brakes, and by the time you hear the screech and the stop, the dust from the road kind of clears, everything's back to the way it was before.
Okay, sanity check.
Yeah, you guys both have to roll grip for me.
Oh, right. Grip is the same thing as sanity. God, I passed 14.
Okay.
I was hoping to fail.
Pass me 46 on a.
I'm going to ask
70.
for a 1d4 from both of you.
It's a 2.
2.
So that's what you lose. Questions for you guys are, do you want to project your losses?
What does that mean?
You can project your losses onto a bond.
Not for a 2.
No, not right now.
What I'll tell you though is that when you do that, you have to roll a 1d4, and that's how much of the sanity you can project. So you can never project more than 4. And the problem is that your bond points go down by that amount, right? So like you lose a lot in bonds compared to the sanity loss, right? Does that make sense?
Not gonna do that for a 2.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, I would use it for like breaking points and stuff.
So don't try to goad us into
Oh, I will.
making worse decisions.
You guys go ahead and just use it on your bonds this time around.
Hey, I'm not here for it.
Who do you want to die of your bonds?
Which one of your bonds do you hate most?
Oh, I know why I erased my mom on my bonds, because this is like 20 years later and my mom is dead. And then I replaced it with Fruman.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. We talked about
Because we get to start making
the bonds with each other.
Yeah, because we'd been working together for like 5 years.
And I think we're going to stop there for you guys. So the Suzu Rodeo is like got dust from the road kind of clearing as you guys are, white knuckling the wheel. Fruman's probably like pushed up against the front of the seat, like holding himself.
And I'm like agape looking out my driver's side window at the
both
lake.
staring at the lake. All right, let's bring him back, and I want to do just like a quick brief thing with you.
33406310
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, FP, I want you to give me a power roll.
I got a 28 on it's a pass on a 28 on a 50.
Cool. Does FP have is there anything that FP specifically normally dreams about?
That's a good question.
Any recurring dreams, any like recurring themes, recurring anything?
I would say that probably historically and even recently, he has recurring dreams about the sort of semi like orphanage / recreational facility where he grew up in a boys club kind of a thing. But more recently, sort of intertwined with that is probably recurrent dreams about all of his close friends / adopted family dying horribly.
In the back of the Suzu, you have a dream. That dream is you are in a shiny metal underground bunker with one wall of glass for which there is water up against that glass. And you are hanging out with your people that you knew from your orphanage, people you grew up with. And, you know, you're playing basketball in there. There's a basketball basket or whatever you guys are playing, and you can't stop looking at the wall. You know, you like shoot up something and you still feel like anxiety about that wall, right? Of that glass wall.
Yeah, it's like punch on the shoulder.
Yeah, you're like, and like look at that thing, kind of draws your attention. And then you come back to it, and then all of a sudden you're playing basketball with your gang, the Vim Vipers are there. You guys are shooting hoops, but you still can't shake that anxiety feeling. The glass starts to crack and nobody else seems to notice it at all. And as the glass gets, the crack just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Water starts to leak out and the water starts filling up the room that you're in, this metallic, like brightly lit room. Nobody seems to notice except you. Your anxiety is rising as you try to get people to notice it, right? And you're pointing it out and people are kind of ignoring, brushing you off. Eventually it gets to your chest, gets to your neck, and then you guys start floating up as it gets higher and higher to the point where there is 6 inches of space between the water and the ceiling. And you're just keeping your head above water, trying to breathe, and still nobody notices any of it around you. Eventually people start dying. Their corpses kind of float around you as the water slowly rises. It finally hits the top. You get like this last of breath as you feel water go into your lungs, and then pop, you wake up. And as you wake up, you've woken up to the brakes being slammed on in the Isuzu Rodeo, and that's where we're ending everything. Give me a grip roll for that.
God damn it. 2 zeros and a 0 is 100, right?
Yes.
Yep, that's what I thought that was.
Limp Bizkit
Sam
is the shit.
made me listen to Limp Bizkit for a long time while I was pressure washing the
$3 bill, y'all.
Did you seriously
washing
like
the
Limp
garage.
Bizkit?
Oh, I loved Limp Bizkit.
Are you shitting me?
No, I can still like do
Oh
like
yeah.
I would never have, of like all the weird music you like, I would have never thought Limp Bizkit.
still
like,
down. $3 bill, y'all slaps. We listened to the whole thing.
Yeah,
What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
It was sick. Still is sick.
is not the right word. You listened to it and I was forced to participate.
Did you not think it slapped?
No, I did not.
Well, that's hurtful.
I'm usually like impressed by your music taste.
Yeah.
Is Limp Bizkit not impressive to you?
No, they're shit. They've always been shit.
Well, I think in 30 years, you guys are going to look back on that and realize how wrong you all are.
Okay. Okay.
On your deathbeds, you guys are going to be like, I'm sorry, Fred Durst.
No, dude.
No? Not going to get the fuck up for Limp Bizkit?
No, I'm not, and I never will.